Alright, time for another draft. Physics.com, debatephysics.com, also video presentation. And it's just another example that it's futile talking to people who call themselves scientists or science lovers or science respecters, because they can't hear anything, they can't respond to direct questions, they can't in any way coherently deal with a subject. They just gibberish. Alright, so the I Can Science that guy who calls himself in the email Professor Science and has a cartoon as an icon. Yeah, it's sort of gone all bad. And he's pretending that, disagreements are supposed to be not disagreements. They're not supposed to be disagreeable. Leibniz was trying to get Newton pretty much put in jail, censored. He wanted the king to tell Newton to shut up. He solicited that. So, disagreements are real, they're meaningful, they matter. The truth matters. And my opinion is you're just supporting a religion. There's no evidence for 1/2 mv squared. You have no physical experimental evidence. And you certainly have no evidence of things you can say are a byproduct of it. 25 times the fuel to go 5 times as fast. 100 times the fuel to spin something 10 times as fast. These are ludicrous propositions, and you won't directly address the subject at all. You won't address the facts of the subject. You won't address the fact that there isn't any evidence, that your science hasn't done any experiments. None of these elemental experiments have been done. You haven't used a Joule tank in over 100 years. There's no experiments using a Joule tank. Joule comes up with this idea, you name energy after him, and you never apply the logic of his experiment to anything. Because all of this could be solved by just doing Joule tank experiments. Just drop things into the tank. Instead of dropping them on a string, drop them in the tank. Anyway, I apologize if I sound condescending or insulting. I do not mean to be. Well, likewise. I ask for your patience. Well, I'm asking for you to say something, okay, besides talking around the subject. Actually talk about the subject. All right, anyway. Understanding that the concepts you express are foreign to me. So this is just such nonsense. It was called quantity of motion by Descartes, Newton, and Galileo. What is so complicated about understanding motion as something, a quantity, something something possesses? The force is in it. Newton said, twice the force, twice the velocity. 3 times the force, 3 times the motion, is what he said. You can't understand the concept that he's basically saying, yes, the force is motion. It causes it, directly proportional to the force. And you're saying this is a foreign concept. No, it's not foreign. It's not alien. It's not bizarre. It's what physics was until it was perverted, okay, by 1/2 mv squared. Anyway. If I seem confused by the ideas you express. So again, what's confusing? It's Newton's physics, just taken one step further. Recognizing the existence of electrons and protons and the existence of a speed of light force. That's it. It is simply because they do not match my expectations, whatever that. I mean, what's your expectations? I agree with you? Yeah, no, well, sorry, that expectation is pretty foolish. My expectations are based on decades of classical scientific education. So that has nothing to do with classical education. Don't tell me Newton said 1/2 mv squared, because he didn't. Don't tell me Newton said even F equals ma, because he didn't. What Newton said was that gravity is a time-dependent force. You get it in units of time. That's what he said. And you've perverted that into a thing that you get units of gravity based on distance. It's not anything Newton said. All right, it's simply because all right. Scientific education. You mean indoctrination. Because all you can do is talk out of that book. There's no point in you talking to anybody who disagrees that's read a different book, because you just keep saying, I only read these books. I don't read anything else. I don't understand anything else. I just do what I'm told. And you are rebutting much of what I've learned. Yeah, well, that's the truth. In the sense that I'm telling you that Newton was right. Descartes was right. Now, Descartes was wrong about ether. Newton was wrong about... Well, he was probably wrong about something. Yeah. I don't want to misunderstand what you're saying. Yeah, you don't want to, but you're deliberately trying to evade the entire subject, and I can't make it any clearer. I want to see a piece of evidence. Show me a piece of evidence. I can show you cars crashing into each other. I can show you wooden blocks 16 times the kinetic energy. There's a collision between something with 16 times the kinetic energy with something with 1 unit of kinetic energy. A collision. And the thing with 16 times the energy doesn't win. But I'm supposed to believe anyway. Every time I just turn the valve on a garden hose, I can make free energy. Oh, come on. You don't understand the subject. Yeah. All right, anyway. By the way, I really appreciate how you answer my questions clearly. I'll try to keep that going in my responses. So again, I tried, and there was just no point, because you would just never stay on the subject. There won't be any mention, okay? I did a video, showed him a ballistic pendulum. I'm betting there won't be a single statement about that. All right, so I said, I believe momentum is force, is weight, is pressure, is heat. There's no distinction. You can turn them all into kelvins or calories or joules or newtons or whatever the hell you want. You can all measure all of these things as a quantity. And it's all just that, nothing else. All right, so he says momentum comes in units, kilograms per meter squared. So it says for kilograms meters seconds, AKNS. Yeah, well, that's your business, okay? For a Newton, it came in foot-pounds. So let's talk about all his foot-pounds. That's fine with me. Let's just pick one of these fucking idiotic units, a watt, I don't care, and recognize that, yeah, I can turn a Newton into a joule, no problem. It's 1/10 of a joule. So why are we pretending units make any frickin' difference? It doesn't matter what units we use. It just matters that you try to use the same unit. I mean, this is one of the stupidest imbecilities of physics. Even Feynman said it. Even Sean Carroll says it. Why do you have 43 different ways to describe exactly the same thing? If the quantities can be converted into each other, you should just have one quantity. I mean, that's what the joule was supposed to do, right? The joule was supposed to end all of this crap. We weren't supposed to worry about foot-pounds and joule and calories and all this other nonsense. We were supposed to just say everything in joules. All right. Force and weight are in units of n vector. So, playing this game that, see the little things moving up there with the little vector lines? There's no such thing as movement without a vector. There's no such thing as motion without a vector. Pressure is motion. Heat is motion. Everything's motion and has a vector. There's no other way for motion to happen. Motion can't, not have a vector. I mean, I shouldn't have to explain this to an adult. All right. Anyway, force and weight are in units. Okay. Pressure is in units of Newton meters per second. No, that's meters squared. So F you on that one. Why? Why is pressure squared? It doesn't make any sense. Pressure is weight. All right. Yes, and it's applied over time. The net amount of the force will be the pressure times the time. All right. Heat, it has units of kilograms meters. So he's just obsessing about, this nonsense. Again, he's turning it into a scalar. There's no, what's a scalar? How's the heat scalaring? It's little bits moving. And so you're claiming what? The little bits aren't moving in a direction? Heat doesn't move in a direction? Yeah, it pretty much does. Goes from hot to cold pretty directly. I mean, look, the only thing different about, the small stuff moving, the big stuff moving, big stuff, it's all stuck together. It's one thing. Little stuff, okay, heat, it's a bunch of little things moving. Again, do you really think an ocean wave isn't made out of single molecules of water moving in all kinds of different directions? Because they are moving in all kinds of different directions. They're all not waving the same thing. Some are going this way, some are going up, some are going down. They're doing all kinds of things to create the yeah, the illusion of a wave. Anyway, I mean, but this is all just, what is this distraction? I don't need this crap. Telling me that all this, I just made the statement, they're all the same thing. You say they're not the same thing. Just say, I don't think they're the same thing. Okay, well, what's your evidence they're not the same thing? Because frankly, when I apply them, they all create force. If they all create a force, then they're all the same thing, in my opinion. They're just carrying force. All right, well, anyway, these can't be literally the same thing. Well, you say so. They are certainly related. Well, what does that even mean? You mean it's related in the sense that some things are big and they move, and they're all moving, all the little bits are moving in a net direction, like a school of fish. Or I could have a single fish, and he could just be moving all by himself. So I can have a school of fish, and the net motion can have a motion. Or I can have a single fish. That's too abstract? Really, like I said, there's no point, right? If these people can't understand arguments that simple, that the difference is that an object can have a net movement because of its pieces moving in different directions, or I think can be elemental and have a movement, and it doesn't have any internal parts to worry about. Do you really think things with different momentums can apply the same force? Okay, so this is the classic Leibnizian never done experiment. So the claim made by 1/2 mv squared and made by Leibniz was that dropping 1 pound 4 feet is the same energy as dropping 4 pounds 1 foot, even though they have completely 100% different momentums. One has twice as much momentum, yet it's going to be the same force. They'll do the same work. That's your theory. And I'm saying it's absolute, unproven mush. And your response is gibberish. So let's see what he says. As you point out, we are having some difficulty communicating clearly. Yes. I want real answers to questions. You want a talk around questions. We need to be very careful with our wording. Amazing. So, okay, I guess I'd have to say yes. Okay, so there. So he said it does take 25 times the fuel to spin a motor 5 times as fast. He said, yes, it's true because his math said so. And now he said, yes, okay, he has some good reason to believe that the force of 4 pounds moving one velocity is the same force as 1 pound moving two velocity. He says it's the same force, even though clearly it's not the same momentum. Shit. Shit. This is intelligent conversation on planet Earth. This is the best they can do. All right, anyway. Momentum is not a force, so that doesn't agree with Newton. All right, so you have to just concede, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you. I don't think Newton knew what he was talking about. That's what you should have told me. And then we could have just said, oh, let's not even bother talking to each other, right? Because you're going to sit there and be reverent. You're going to sit there and almost pray to his 3 laws. And right under the second law, he states, 1 unit of force, 1 unit of motion. 2 units of force, 2 units of motion. But they're not the same thing. They're only identical. Being identical isn't the same thing. Fuck. Anyway. Momentum has units of who cares? Doesn't matter. You can say momentum is newtons, and I'll just say, and 1 Newton is 1/10 of a joule. So why are we playing a game with these different units making any difference? They don't make any difference. They don't mean anything. Okay, or NS, and force has units of and there's just no point. I prefer to formally define force as a change in momentum over time. Oh, well, duh. And so what? The net force isn't a change in momentum over time. The net force is just how much force was it. It doesn't matter what time it took. It could take 3 days, it could take 10 days, it could take 10 years. The net force is just the net force. The net force is the net momentum change. The net velocity increase or decrease. I mean, just such crap. Or mathematically, dp over dt. Can I use momentum? So there's no experiments, there's nothing. This is just all this same shit. My math says so. Can I use the momentum of object A to impact a force to object B? Yes. Well then, okay, we're done. You're transferring momentum, and how are you doing it? By transferring force. Is that all that Newton's cradle does? It just transfers force by transferring the momentum. Duh, because it's the same damn thing. It's the quantity of motion. The force applied to B will be balanced by an equal and opposite force applied by A. So I'm saying that obviously that's not true, okay? Newton was kind of playing a little game there. If I have $10 and I give away $5, there's no opposite force that made me $5 poorer. The force of me giving it away is it. So in the classic Newton's cradle, where you just have one ball hit the other ball, what's the opposing force? There's no opposing force. The energy just goes from one ball right into the other ball. There's no opposing force. There's no change in direction. There's no any indication of an equal and opposite reaction. Shit. Okay. The force applied to B will be balanced by an equal and opposite force applied by A. So it really won't. The thing getting hit is not applying a force. It's collecting a force. When friction happens, the ground doesn't apply a force. It merely collects the force. The aggressor hits it, it moves with the aggression. That's it. It doesn't do anything else. It takes the force. It takes the motion. It accepts it. But it doesn't matter. I don't want to argue the specifics of Newton's analogies. I'm just going to argue that, yes, in principle, it doesn't matter whether you believe friction is a counter force, but the simple truth is it's not a counter force. It's a sponge. It's absorbing the energy. The energy is going from the rolling object into the ground. It's a quantity of motion, and it simply spills into the other object. Oh, crap. The force applied to B will be balanced by an equal opposite force from A. There's the same force, totally agree. There's your same force, totally agree. So again, we're not agreeing. Could I use the momentum in a different way to apply different force? The simple question was, you're saying that 50 pounds and 25 pounds can weigh the same. And I'm saying, show me. Show me the experiment where 50 pounds and 25 pounds weighs the same. Yes, I can. Okay. Could I use momentum in a different way to apply different forces? So, what does that even mean? Give object A 100 newtons of momentum. Transfer all the momentum out over a period of 10 seconds. That's 10 newtons of force applied for 10 seconds. So again, it doesn't matter. You have to conserve momentum. So this is already a written rule. This was the only thing we do. Well, maybe we don't agree on it, because if you conserve kinetic energy, you're not going to conserve momentum in these examples. Anytime you transfer energy from uneven masses, you can never conserve both. I mean, that's a simple statement I've made over and over again, and not one of these people will concede, yeah, that's right. I mean, it's mathematically impossible. The squared velocity guarantees that you can't conserve both. Give an object B 10 newtons of momentum, transfer 10 newtons over 1 second, and that's 10 newtons of force applied for 1 second. So again, this is baby talk. Duh. What does this have to do with the subject? Oh, that's right, not a goddamn thing. This is just talking around the subject. Give object B 10 newtons of momentum, transfer the 10 newtons over 1 second. Oh, I did that. Okay, different momentums, same force. So bullshit. Same force. Same net force? It's not the same net force. It's not the same capacity to do work. See how he perverted it? The question is, can you do the same work? Can you have the same transfer of force? The net transfer of force. Can two things with different momentum transfer all of their stuff, and the amount of stuff they transferred is the same, even though they had different momentums? They lose all their momentum, and well, look, I could go right back to the rolling ball example, right? You have no evidence that a ball rolled that's going twice the velocity puts 4 times the heat into the ground. Zero evidence. You just have the statement that something going 3 times as fast. I roll a ball 3 times as fast. There's 9 times the heat in the ground. Do you have anything close to a frickin' piece of experimental evidence demonstrating anything like that? No. Give an object B 10 newtons of momentum. Okay, we did that. Okay, different momentum, same force. So again, just absolute nonsense. It's not the same net force. Your question seems to have been formed hastily. Oh, fuck you. Now you deserve it. I mean, bullshit. Your answer is evasive and nonsensical. I clearly wasn't talking in units of time. Can you do the experiment really slowly in one case and really fast in another case, and therefore apply the same force per second? Of course you can. Can the net impact be the same? No, of course it can't. This is such goddamn dishonesty. These people they just will not deal with the truth. The universe is just masses moving. There's no other energy. So now he's going to disagree with that. It's going to happen, right? He's going to disagree with that. That there's some kind of other energy. This is going to claim photons don't have any mass. Therefore, they can't have any momentum. Even though they give things momentum, they don't have any. It's just like the brick wall collecting twice the energy even though it doesn't move. Fuck. I'm willing to consider that momentum is the fundamental quantity from which we derive everything else. How can you derive it? How do you take momentum and just sit there and say, I'm going to square the velocity? How is that a derivative that means anything at all? If I did it to voltage, watts wouldn't mean anything. And that's exactly what you've done. You've broken something that works perfectly. Momentum works. So again, it wasn't like Leibniz said, oh, there's a bunch of things that don't work out. We need a new formulation of energy because there's a bunch of stuff that doesn't make sense. He wasn't fixing something that was broken with momentum. He had a whole soliton, monad, spiritual philosophy. Okay, and that's why he needed to square the velocity. It wasn't because there was some incompleteness. There wasn't any incompleteness in the momentum theory. He found it offensive because it implied you don't need God. Oh, I mean, these people are just despicable. Anyway, all right, so that's what he said. Fundamental quantity from which we derive everything else. So that's saying absolutely nothing. So just concede that, well, I can't really imagine how energy could be in some other form than motion. I mean, pressure is little things moving. Heat is little things moving. Electrons in a wire are little things moving. I mean, where can I come up with some idea that there's something called energy and it doesn't involve something moving? Regular physics tells us that momentum and energy are different quantities. Well, fuck that. It tells you. It doesn't show you. Sorry for the, F-bombs, but, come on. This is... And this is the major point of disagreement. Now, the major point of disagreement is that I insist words should mean something, formulas should mean something, and you should be able to provide some kind of experimental evidence. That's what the disagreement's about. You think I have to believe something, and you have no evidence to show me. You just say I must believe. All right. The question becomes, what examples can we come up with where hypothesis makes a testable prediction and differs from mainstream physics? I'm telling you, you haven't tested anything. Where did you do the experiment? Where did you drop 1 pound 4 feet and 4 pounds 1 foot? Where did you do this experiment? Where did you drop it into a joule tank? Just take a joule tank and drop 1 pound 4 feet, and then take a joule tank and drop 4 pounds 1 foot, and see if they heat the water the same. I'll just leave this email right here and instead respond to your video. Okay, so I gave him the 5-minute video, so that's the next email. All right, so obviously he got butthurt because I called his evasions of the simple subject to electric motors require 25 times the energy, the electricity, to spin 5 times as fast. I don't care what load they have. Doesn't matter what the load is. Does it take 25 times the electricity to spin the load 5 times as fast? Can you show me a single experiment where that works out? And you can't, and you never will, because 1/2 mv squared is a religious fable. All right, since you view everything I said as gibberish, let me try something different. Double gibberish? Yeah. Be even more obtuse and irrelevant? Let's see if that's what happens. All right, the most interesting, we're already in trouble. The most interesting thing you said during our conversation was when you acknowledged that you were wrong about momentum being a vector. What? I never said that. And what it meant for the angular question. Well, that I never said. Momentum being a vector? What are you talking about? I said I didn't add the vectors properly. I was under the assumption that, for the moment, okay, that the two forces didn't actually combine. That if a perpendicular force affected something, I was thinking about the fact that it doesn't affect the velocity in this direction, but it does add velocity in this direction. That's all I said. So he just ignored the ballistic pendulum argument altogether. The real subject of the video. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I have made a mathematical error in our communication as well, where I said 5 something 2, 5 up triangle-y thing 2, instead of squared 5. Oh, I don't know. What the fuck? Squared 5? Well, what the hell could that mean? I'm sure I didn't give a shit because I'm not terribly interested in these squared functions. A square of velocity seems to me a ridiculous proposition, especially like a cube of velocity. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it comes in those quantities. It is this capacity to recognize we might be in... Oh, please, this isn't about making errors and all this crap. It's about a simple question. You don't need evidence to believe. That's the simple argument. They've never shown you a quark. They've never shown you an entanglement. They've never shown you an electron in the same position as another electron. You've never seen a superposition. You haven't seen any of this crap, and you believe it. And unlike you, I'm not going to believe it till I see some frickin' evidence, because I'm not a religious fool. I wonder, are you capable of evaluating this question from the other point of view? What other point of view? Have you read the history? So the point of view, I pointed out what the de Châtelet denting clay experiment. Can you understand how that's not a valid way to measure energy? I pointed out that Joule is famous for this very fact, that Joule looked at the world, looked at the experiments, and he said, you know what, there's not a decent way to test energy anywhere. I'm not going to pick up a horse. That's idiotic. I'm not going to do, drop a horse in a well and blah, blah. I'm not going to do all these silly, stupid experiments to decide how much energy something has. I'm going to find something really clinical and test it really rigorously. Yeah, and that's what you're mocking here, okay, with this nonsense. What other point of view is there? You have zero frickin' evidence. You have made numerous disparaging statements about physics and math. Duh. Because it's a religion taught to kids. It's brain molestation. You teach this crap that isn't true. You talk about two slit experiments when you know a single impediment creates the same goddamn pattern. That it isn't about photons going through and opening. Making a wave. A water wave. You're just terrible. All right. And then, again, the Eddington experiment is so obvious. I mean, a tiny bit of research on the Eddington experiments demonstrates that, yes, it probably was a big fat fake. I mean, the slides were destroyed. And again, and once you read Eddington's own journal, where he points out that the slides sucked 10% of the data quality. 10 frickin' percent. Horrible. The experimental data was horrible. And your physics holds that experiment up as some sort of pristine example of great science. It's garbage science. All right, setting those aside, mathematics gives us a precise language. Yeah, it's made up. Wrong formulas are not good science. And it's clear the formula doesn't work. It doesn't match reality. Your prediction that it will take 25 times the electricity to move your car 50 miles an hour is false. And let's see. With which we can describe things clearly and inaccurately. You can just make up stories. The rocket has 5,673,000 joules of thrust. Oh yeah, but it only moves with the 50 joules of momentum. Yeah, that's real clear. Yeah, really clear. There's an equal and opposite reaction. The bullet leaves the gun with 2,000 joules. The gun recoil is 2. Oh yeah, that's really equal. 2 equals 2,000. I remember learning that in school. They both have a 2 in them. Distances are measured in I'm just... Fuck you. So yeah, it says distance is measured in meters. Sorry, you can't see it, but I mean... Time is measured in seconds. Velocity is measured in velocitories. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's distance traveled in a given unit of time. Hilarious. Oh, God damn it. All right. If an object covers a distance m in time ts, yes, that's like in gravity. The first second you go this far, okay, you travel nothing almost. The second second you travel 3 times that. The third second you travel 5 times that. The fourth second is 7 times that. The fifth second is 9 times that. Hardly proportional. Its velocity is by definition distance over time and has units m. I mean, this is just a wasted, this is just such an evasion of the subject. Evade. All right, if we can, it's on you, Eventually somebody, some physicist is going to have to acknowledge. I mean, I've almost got the simulation, right? I just got to wait on the guy to do a few little tiny touch-ups to it. But, I mean, it demonstrates why electrons attract. I mean, electrons repel each other, protons repel each other, and why they attract each other. And it's so damn simple. I mean, eventually that's going to be acknowledged that, well, that's a hell of a simple explanation for how it works. And all it has in it is the mechanics of momentum. Nothing else. Nothing complicated. It just has Sisyphuses and boulders. I mean, it's that simple. And it works. All right, if we can have these conversations within the confines of simple mathematical, Yeah, in the confines of your religious statements. I have to believe in gingerbread land. I have to believe Smurfs exist. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. Okay, we can be assured of understanding. We can also easily test. And that's the whole point. I'm saying, where are the tests? You've had 350 years to give me some evidence of this. All right, and you have nothing. Zero. Nothing even close. The Mythbusters crashed the cars. 100 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour. Same car. Half the crushing. Twice the crushing. Not 4 times. You think if they did 10 miles an hour and 30 miles an hour, they're really going to get 9 times the crushing? Do you really think if they do 10 miles an hour and 40 miles an hour, they're going to get 16 times the crushing? I mean, bullshit. Do you really think that? Then you're really just too stupid for a physics conversation, in my opinion, because you should be doubtful. Damn doubtful. I just turn the nozzle on the hose and I make free energy? You've got to know that can't be right. But that's what your formula says. All I need is half the mass going twice the velocity and I've made free energy. Alright, anyway. So bad. Your apparent disdain for mathematics, so just a lie. I have a disdain for lies. I have a disdain for fables. 1/2 mv squared is a fable. It has nothing to do with reality. It was never supported by physical evidence. It's garbage. And you defending it makes you just a religious kook. Your apparent disdain for mathematics gives me the impression of a serious bias. Yeah, whatever. Fuck you. And I certainly can't help wondering if that bias is lending to some highly motivated reasoning. So whatever that means. The motivation of my reasoning I've explained over and over again, but as a kid, I wasn't fooled by this babble. They drew that silly picture of a photon, and I said, oh, that's the elemental universe. A battleship can't do what that's doing. I can't do it. I'm a very complex machine. I can't wiggle like that. How the fuck does that thing know how to do it? I mean, your physics is backward in the sense that you think the little universe is insanely complicated. Yeah. Okay. Are you open-minded? Are you? You're obviously showing you can't. Your mind won't even focus on anything besides your Bible. You just keep reciting out of your Bible. All right. Let's see. Are you open-minded? Are you ready to question your own beliefs? So again, for 10 years, I've had to question them because I had to develop my beliefs. I made my beliefs. I didn't go fucking ask somebody what the truth is. I fucking drew it over and over and over again until I found the truth. I made my brain. All right. Let's see. Are you open-minded? Are you ready to question your own beliefs? Yeah, you had to constantly. That's the nature of invention. It didn't work. Why didn't it work? Well, then you have to find out why it didn't work. You have to say, well, what am I missing? What am I missing? What am I missing? All right. Are you willing to apply the principles of mathematics? So again, no, I'm willing to apply experiment. Show me. Show me. Show me. And don't lie about the experiment. Don't shoot silver atoms and tell me I'm testing the spin of an electron. Don't shoot a laser beam at a crystal that has no slits and call it a double slit experiment. I mean, your physics is just lie after lie about every fucking experiment you do. You sit there and lie about what it shows. Are you even interested in what I or anyone else thinks about this subject? So I made the video. I'm pleading with you to make some sort of response video explaining how ballistic pendulums prove kinetic energy is real. So go ahead, show me. All right. You dismissed my regenerative braking story. Yes, I dismissed it because it's absolutely irrelevant. It's an electric motor. Do you think the electric motor going from 0 to 50 miles an hour, what does regenerative braking have to do with it, you fuck? Doesn't have a goddamn thing to do with the subject. When did I say you have to brake? It's about braking. No, it's about accelerating. It's about maintaining a velocity. Do you need 25 times the fuel to make something go 5 times as fast and stay going 5 times as fast? And the simple truth is, fuck no. God, you're just so dishonest. Ugh, it's disgusting, these people. I'm just so sick of these shitty humans. Evade, evade, evade. Just lie and evade. All right. You weren't interested in that at all. Yeah, why would I be interested in regenerative braking when I'm asking the question, do you really think a turbine in Niagara Falls spins 5 times as fast and makes 25 times the electricity? Do you believe that happens? God damn it. This, you know, it's just, this is all there are on this planet. And that's what's this, all these videos are just going to demonstrate, oh, okay, they're really, this whole human project fails right on its face. Because even the scientists are fucking fanatical religious kooks. All right, anyway, you were very quick to decide it wasn't related to energy and speed and momentum. Really? Yeah, really, it's not. It's braking the car doesn't have a damn thing to do. That's obviously just creating direct heat. Okay, and then you have to talk about what the tires are making, how much friction there is with the road. There's only about 75 million variables involved. So why would I have a conversation about that? We're talking about going from 0 to 50 and from 0 to 10. Can you do that in your car and then tell me that you use 25 times the electricity to get to 50 miles an hour? I said you regenerate more energy at higher speed than at lower speed. I don't care. The fact that it's a mechanism, you know, it's less efficient at slower speeds. So what? God, this is just such crap. At a glance, it seems related. Well, I don't see how it's related. Any idiot could know that generators are more efficient the faster you can turn them. You know, turning them very slowly means that you're not going to overcome all the static friction and all the other shit. All right. How much effort did you spend trying to understand that before you got irritated and dismissed it? I didn't dismiss it. I'm saying it's irrelevant as fuck. What the fuck does it have to do with the elemental question? You can have all kinds of different electrical motors, or, you know, spinning a propeller, spinning a drill, spinning anything. I'm saying, where do you have any evidence that it takes 25 times the electricity to spin the damn thing 5 times as fast? I'm saying that there's no evidence. It's completely proportional, just like Newton said. Twice the force, twice the motion. 3 times the force, 3 times the motion. I'm dismissing the fact that you don't have any evidence for this shit. Finally, I wonder, can you reflect for a moment? Not many of us can really handle looking carefully at ourselves. Can you do it? Oh, go fuck yourself, you pompous douche. Amazing crap from this fucking mamby-pamby Mr. Rogers physicist. Fuck you, cartoon man. Can you look at yourself and just see what a little pervert you are? God damn it. How does it make you feel when someone disagrees with you about momentum and energy? It's not about how I feel. I find it disgusting that you're so dishonest. Disgusting. Make a ballistic pendulum video. Explain to us where the kinetic energy is and then show us that it's there. Stick a thermometer in the fucking thing and prove your fucking goddamn silly theory. Why does it make you feel that way? How do you feel about math? Why? Go ask King Koopy Poop. Yeah, let's go ask King Kooky Poop. Let's have a little fairy faggoty little TV show about whatever, Mr. Rogers' physics hood. Oh, God, this is so fucking disgusting. What is it that you really motivated you to make these videos and strike up the conversation? Clearly, I read my introduction. I clearly made the point that I think physics is a fucking religion. That's what's motivating me, you asshole. I think you're lying, dishonest, stupid fucks, and it bugs the fuck out of me that science is being ruined by you fucking idiots. Because if Newton was here, or Galileo was here, or Descartes was here, they'd be shoving this up your ass too. Because you're so full of shit. Back in the 1600s, people couldn't make up, well, I think a geodesic did it. They couldn't make up fake, phony stories and get away with it. God damn. Do you want to know the truth? Oh, and the truth is what? The holy scripture of the soliton and the monad. The religion. It's the best of all possible physics worlds. It's all entangled and wooey and wormholey. Oh, ew, that's a little like an anus, isn't it? Well, it does have an anus. It's just we have to accept God thought anuses were necessary. Oh, fuck. Do you want to convince me that you are correct? No, I want an argument. I want a counter-argument that contains something like show me evidence. I want you to prove what you're insisting I believe, or I'm one of them. I'm a dissenter because I don't believe in the Holy Scripture. Handed down by Sean Carroll and Kooky Fucktard. I have to believe whatever they say. Oh, God, I hate this planet. All right, does it matter to you whether you are correct or not? Does it matter to you? You clearly don't care. Oh, I completely fucked up and believed complete nonsense. Oh, my bad. I didn't pay any attention to evidence. I didn't need any evidence. I said, okay, the Eddington experiment is fine. Yes, he only got 10% of the data. And yes, he was depressed and said, I wouldn't stake my life on this experiment. But he was just a little bit depressed because the rain made his shirt wet and it felt sticky. And so once he got over that, he thought the experiment was super cool. He thought it was great science. No, when he found out he spent a big ton of money and the institution was like, well, what? You fucking just wasted $1 million doing this silly fucking experiment where you're just going to prove a fucking goddamn German is smarter than the English people? You know, there's so much politics involved in this. But what a pile of crap. I mean, Eddington was a religious kook too. Maybe you just want to vent in your direction, out of the other end. Yes, I like to fart in your direction. If that is the case, by all means, vent. I'll get out of your way. Yeah. Yeah, well, you are the clock stoppers. You're the door slammers. You know, you're the people that ruin intelligence on planet Earth. You shut it up, you close it out, and you don't pay any goddamn attention to the fact that maybe you're the one who's fucking wrong, jackass. And maybe you should be able to figure out that, oh yeah, I haven't demanded seeing anything. I just believe whatever they tell me. Whatever is written in the book, I believe it. I don't have to see it. And even when I see evidence opposing it. So if I showed him the Mythbusters cars smashing into the wall, and it's only half the crushing, he'll say, well, that's just circumstantial because the car gets harder to crush, and so it just turned out coincidentally to be exactly twice the crushing. So what? It's just a coincidence that it's exactly twice the crushing. And if it's 3 times the crushing, he'll say, well, 3 is a little bit shaped like a 9. Yeah, no, it isn't. Oh, it's just so dishonest. God damn, I hate this planet. You can't find a single physicist that has any goddamn integrity. So he's just bailing out. This is what this is all about. He's just saying, I'll get out of the way. I'll run away because I can't make a physics video. I can't make a video explaining how mv squared is true, how gravity is not a force, or how the double slit experiment proves photons are wavy. Go ahead and make one of those fucking videos, and I'll tear it so many assholes. But this is so fucking. You're all such goddamn fucking slimy cowards. Ugh. God, I just hate it here. Alright, so that's enough of a video. I mean, you can't find one intelligent person with a shred of integrity